All right, welcome back on the microphone on another session with the Elevator One of Sports, and the new season is officially underway. And when I say it's officially underway, that's because we have a lot of EPL followers in the country where we are. So the EPL kicked off this past weekend, and it's another time for all the controversies, all the talking points, opinions flying here and there. If you've not been to a viewing center before, try, just go. I don't say Elevator need to go viewing center.
No.
just try, go, just go here, enjoy, forget the body other thing, the sweat and everything.
I do not think I'll be able to enjoy it because people might react differently. This is why those people just react. A lot of people react negatively to anything that I say. This is like, see, some people they really the day I'll get scandal like that, Ibom air kind of scandal. I die you. People go do party, go so actually do party. No, but basically I can't do views that I want. You won't see the game properly, and then you know how they say that knowledge cometh by hearing, and hearing, the word of God. But for me, I'm very particular about my kind of music, my source of news, source of information. Even on social media, I'm very particular about what I watch. I don't want to sit in a place where opinions will be. I'll be thinking I'm getting it for entertainment purpose, but it will not affect me. That's why I don't do too much of banter. Maybe you can say I'm too serious, but I like to really watch the game, observe the game, take my notes. Like when I'm watching game, I'm taking notes, I'm highlighting some moments, key minutes, events. I won't be able to do that at viewing centers, and I'm not sure it's something I can do. The added one, the body odor, no, I can't. I really can't.
Well, talking about the EPL kickstarting this weekend. You also, it's the time as we see the games. I know you like to tweet in games your thoughts as the game goes on and stuff like that. Before the season started, there's this tweet you put out. You felt United have solved their problems more than the way Arsenal have. I'll just read the tweets like you put out there. He said, "Why do I have a feeling that Manchester United have solved their on-the-field problems with their signings rather than Arsenal?" This wasn't a coincidence because United and Arsenal kicked off the season, over the weekend. We'll go on to the other part of this tweet, but I wanted you to, clarify that first bit. Why do you think so?
The reaction to this tweet was really strange to me in a lot of ways. But what I meant was that when the season ended last season, we know that Man United have first primary problem was goalkeeping. Onana is like one of the worst goalkeeper to ever keep for Manchester United, one of the worst goalkeeper to keep for a top flight team in the Premier League. And when I say top flight, I'm talking about the top 5 or top 4, top 6 teams. But in their DM, they also have a problem. But when you look at the attack, Zexi, Højlund, Rashford, in some part of the beginning of the season, were not really coming together. So when you sign 3 players that have 40 goals between them, I wasn't expecting all 3 of them to just come and flop. Cunha already know the Premier League. He's played for Wolves. He knows the Premier League. He also saw Man United suffer last season, so he could know that this is what I'm coming to do. And that was the problem, because if you look last season and even the season before, Bruno Fernandes was taking too much work upon himself, and so he had to play as a midfielder. He has to play as an 8, sometimes a 10, 8, and sometimes as a 9, and then play wide. And so we didn't really get the value that he brings. But then they signed Cunha. So Cunha would alternate that position with him. Either Cunha plays the 8, he plays the 10, or Cunha plays the 10, he plays the 8. So that's the solution. Mbeumo fixed the right side properly.
Another player who knows the league as well.
And he knows the league very well. Scored 20 goals last season for Brentford. A team that doesn't play on the front foot like Manchester United, and you're able to score 20 goals. I don't know the exact number of the assists, because I think in my own case, every mistake, I said 29 instead of 27 for your chorus. Everybody wanted to kill me. They're not looking at the context of the conversation. Exactly. They just, what's the mistake he will make? And so I'm going to be careful with that one. And then they brought in Benjamin Sesko. For Benjamin Sesko, I didn't really have much hope, because when Arsenal was going for him, I was like, I don't want potential. You want a player that will come in and make an instant hit, even though our own Gyökeres also did.
It looks like the odd one out from those 3 United signings.
But now look at it carefully. Man United have a striker who can score. Even the little time he played, you could see his area prowess. You could see his positioning, and then his link-up play. In that small time that he played, you tell yourself that if this guy goes on to play regularly, it will be fine. Now, what I noticed from the first game, and remember, remember I made this tweet before the game. What I noticed was the fact that Bruno Fernandes, Mbuemo, and Cunha were playing too selfish. Everybody wants to be the guy who hurt Arsenal, who takes the glory. Arsenal were not in their very best. A team that was calm, Man City would have beaten Arsenal maybe 4-1, 5-1 or so, because they were not really okay. Calafiori was bumping forward without coming back. Dogo had acres of space, but they couldn't use the ball properly. Now, my reason for saying that was that there was a need for all of these players that they signed. I don't think that there was a heavy need for a Norgard, for instance. Arsenal signed him. I don't also think that there is a need. There's a difference between need and want. I don't think that there is a need for Noni Madueke. Arsenal signing. Those are two players that were signed that didn't fix any, that didn't address any problem. What is Arsenal's major problem? And I hope that our producer, when editing this, will put the heat map. I want to show you a very clear example. If you go back to Cesc Fabregas' heat map, Arsenal's first off, let's highlight the problem before we talk about the solution. Arsenal's problem is the fact that they can't. The left side of Arsenal's midfield and attack is paralyzed, not because of a striker, just because the midfielder is not making that channel a priority. The left side, where Martinelli or Trossard play, only get loose balls, not deliberate tactical intention to use that area as an attacking channel. So let me do a comparative note so that you understand. When Liverpool was playing against Bournemouth double up on Mo Salah, it affects them on the side of defending against Cody Gakpo. If they double up on Cody Gakpo and Mo Salah, it open up the middle. So at every given time, you need about 6 players to defend against Liverpool. With Arsenal, you already know from the get-go that 80% of their main attacking threat will come from the right. So if you can stop them, and then the midfielder again is not a quick transition player. He's always hanging on the ball. Odegaard needs 4 touches to make a pass, and those passes are always towards the right. This is not me saying it, but go check the heat map. You see that everything about Odegaard is on the right. Very, very little, very light hit on the left. That tells you it doesn't go to the left, not because of his foot, just the fact that he doesn't play or pass to his left. Then you go to Fabregas, you notice that his heat map is central. Now, the argument would be Kevin De Bruyne have his heat map on the right as well, even more than Odegaard. But then Kevin De Bruyne's passing range is in the Xabi Alonso, Vominia Boban, that class, Luka Modric passing range. I wouldn't want to mention Toni Kroos now, but in that range, they are all in the same classroom. Maybe some are sitting in the front, some are sitting in the middle, somewhere, but Kevin De Bruyne is not too far from Toni Kroos. In some cases, some people would even argue that Kevin De Bruyne is a better passer than Toni Kroos. But when you look at Odegaard does not have a long range of pass. Fabregas played in a midfield that in a team where you have Robin Van Persie, Antonio Reyes, Thierry Henry at some point. All of them were getting passes equally. They were getting fed equally. But when you look at this Arsenal team, all the ball that go, whether it's Trossard that is playing, whether it's Noni Madueke, whether it's Martinelli, they only get loose ball. So if you double up on Bukayo Saka, he would huff and puff. He would do what Bukayo Saka knows how to do. The thing is, every new season, people are mastering how to cut him off completely, and the burden of the work is going. The world-class player that they call him, eventually Arsenal fans will begin to attack him that he is the one killing the team. Not necessarily because of him, but because the team is skewed towards that side. So that's the thing that I felt Arsenal did not fix with that tweet. So with Arsenal signing Zubimendi, yes, it's a good one, but did that fix a problem? I think that Declan Rice and Merino could have also filled that position. I'm not against the signing of Zubimendi. I'm just saying that did not fix a problem. Again, look at Liverpool. They have Mo Salah, fantastic goal scorer in the 20 to 30 goal per season. They have Cody Gakpo, who can do 15 goals. That's about 45 goals already. They still want to get Ugo Ekitike, who, let's okay, for being a new season, let's be modest, 10 goals for him. That's about 55 goals. Let's even take 5 away from Cody Gakpo. I say 10 from him, 10 from Ugo Ekitike. That's about 50 goals from the front 3. They are still looking to sign Isaac. Arsenal signed Victor Gyökeres. I thought that Arsenal could have done Liam Delap early because it was cheap and may probably go for somebody else. I'm not even looking for the big one. Like I said before in one of our previous shows, I would sign Benjamin Sesko and still sign Victor Gyökeres. But they have their own reason. That's not fixing the problem, because with Victor Gyökeres, if it doesn't click this season, Arsenal is back to where they used to be. 2 seasons ago, Arsenal was the second highest goal scorer in the Premier
But
League.
Gyökeres was signed to fix the goal scoring problem. Is
Nah,
it something now? The another thing is if he's actually going to fix it.
The problem
because
was
it's a signing for a solution.
Yeah,
for the goal scoring.
The problem was never goal scoring. How can you say Arsenal have goal scoring problem when in the last 3 seasons they have been among the top 3 highest goal scorers? Only last season that they struggled with goals. 3 seasons ago, they were in the top 3 bracket. Last 2 seasons, they were short on the difference between the goals that they scored and Man City was just 5, if I'm not mistaken. So if you look at it, goal scoring was not Arsenal's real problem. The problem was in the midfield, the left channel. All that left channel needs to do is to function just 45% of what the right channel does. And who's responsible for that? Is the guy in the number 10 position. Go back to the heat map again of all the midfielders that I'm talking about. Post Scholes, even... Just take Arsenal alone. Go back Andres Lemper when he played for Arsenal in the George Graham days, Bruce Rush days, before Arsene Wenger came in. Then Paul Mason. As much as people will talk about him being an alcoholic, his passing range is incredible. And then Emmanuel Petit, and then you go to Cesc Fabregas, and then you bring in people like Santi Cazorla, Rosicky, Mesut Ozil. Wow, look at names that I'm mentioning. And then you look at this Arsenal team, and you're expecting a guy who needs 4 touches in transition to make a pass. I can't remember how many times Odegaard have consistently liberated a striker who's on the run, who's on his bike, and just set him free, say, take the ball because we are hitting on the counter. Arsenal's counter is the slowest among all the top teams. So it's not necessarily that Gyökeres have come to fix a problem, because that problem wasn't existing. The only reason he came off last season was because the pool of the injuries was much. Arsenal's goal scoring in ratio to goals chances created is very, very proportionate. It is perfectly okay. Last season was just an injury-filled season. That's the reason why I said that. And it has nothing to do with the Arsenal-Man United game. But people just took it out of tone. Man United may have lost, and it makes my tweet look very, very irrelevant. But you would agree with me that if you look that game from the eye of a neutral, you would say that you can't put Man United in 15th position this season. You cannot say this Man United I'm seeing I will struggle and end up in 15.
I'll be surprised if it happens.
I'll be very, very surprised. But last season you saw the team was in shambles. This team is not in shambles. Yes, they didn't win yesterday, but if Mbeumo, Cunha, Sesko and Bruno Fernandes sort themselves out, Man United just need a replacement for Casemiro before the transfer window closes. And probably I thought that Delete and Euro was fantastic. This is my opinion, I might be wrong. I also thought that the 2 fullbacks gave a very good account of themselves, and they will play against teams that do not have 6-foot defenders like Arsenal, and they will score goals. Obviously they will score goals. 7 great save. Arsenal's goalkeeper was the best player from the match yesterday. So when you put all that together, there's something that just tells you, you know what, Arsenal didn't really solve their problem. Their problem is getting a ball passer on the left side. That was why I wasn't really excited about Eze. I would have gone for Javi Simons. I would have done everything to go for Javi Simons, because for me, that opens up that area. He also knows how to hold on to the ball, drag attention to himself, then create space behind the lines, and then get them playing.
Is it different from Eze? In terms of your preference now, because you would prefer him over
my reason for not wanting Eze is a fantastic player. Eze have something that no Arsenal player have had in the last 5 or 6 seasons. Eze scores free kick. Arsenal does not have anybody who scores free kick, and a team that wants to win the title should at least have somebody who will win last minute free kick goals for them. But Arsenal doesn't have that one. Leave what Declan Rice did against Real Madrid. He's not done that for God knows how long, and after that he's not done it again. Now the difference between Simons and Eze, which is my only problem with Eze, it's not his game or what he does on the field. I've not seen Eze play 10 consecutive 90 minutes ever. If anybody's seen, please show me. So all this time he's been playing football. If you play like that for a mid-table team, it is okay. Where you need one great game, it's like Alex Iwobi. One great game in 5, one great game in 10. It's fantastic. But when you're playing for a team that wants to win the title, one off game in 10 can be the difference between winning it and not winning it. So, you know, when you look at that historically, you will know that that's what is missing. Even Arteta played in this Arsenal team where they had creative midfielder. Played in a team that had Fabregas, Sami Nasri, and I think Rosicky and the rest of them. Even with Ozil at some point. So he should know that a midfield that does not come with that much level of creativity. The City team that he was assistant coach to had Kevin De Bruyne, have Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, at some point David Silva. You can see the number of creativity within that team. Does Arsenal have that in the midfield? Does Arsenal have that? No. It didn't stop them from having Mahrez on the side, Grealish when they had Grealish, Leroy Sané when they had him, Raheem Sterling in his best element, as well as Doku and the rest of them, Savinho or Savinho, whatever the correct pronunciation. My point is, Arsenal does not have that, and that could be the difference between finishing as top or regressing from second to third and then start going back again and then starting a rebuild. Unfortunately, I told somebody this, I didn't tweet it. Andrea Beta is the guy that will sack Mikel Arteta and they will bring in Diego Simeone to Arsenal. He might not play beautiful football, but that's the direction that Arsenal is most likely going. This will not make sense to anybody now. This is the part where people watching this video will start insulting me and start calling me a bull. If Arteta does not win anything major, and by winning something major, I'm not talking FA Cup, I'm not talking what's it called, I'm not talking Carabao Cup, I'm talking between the league title and the Champions League. If Arteta doesn't win any of those two, they would sack him. Like it's Andrea Beta that will sack him.
Because a lot of Arsenal fans feel this is the time he should win something. Enough of coming second. Because I mean, this also coincides with one of the questions I want to ask you. Arsenal's areas of improvement if they want to win the title, win the Premier League this season, and you've basically touched on all of it. But a lot of people still feel they are not there yet, especially after that first game of the season against Manchester United, even though it's still early days.
I'm not judging by that first game of the season. I think that first game of the season is supposed to make everybody calm down because previously, any game that Arsenal played this badly, they will lose. Any game Arsenal played this poorly, they will lose. And one of the things that we give credit to Sir Alex Ferguson for back in the day was the fact that he has mastered the act of playing badly and winning. On their off day, they pick up 3 points. So, if we want to judge based on that principle, it means that Arsenal might go on to win the league title. But what you look is not just this game. What you look is you put all the team on a spreadsheet and tell yourself who among the team. Liverpool look already like a team without injury, look like a team that can go this season unbeaten. Man City have players like is it Guardiola? What's his name? Guardiola, or whatever the name is, missing. Have a few key players missing. People always accuse Pep Guardiola of, he doesn't play young players. He always buy the big names. And I asked them, where was Sergio Busquets when he came to Barcelona? There are young players that he's given a chance, but people don't want to hear that. That game had Oscar Bob. That game had Rico Louis. Have another young player in that game. They still go on to win 4-0. Look at the Arsenal team carefully. If Saka or this same other guy that is part of the liability of the team gets injured, who come in and replace them and do well? I don't think that Nwaneri, for all that he does, I think that Nwaneri plays like his age. Shoots when he's not supposed to shoot. I've not shown evidence of being a good passer. Likes to dribble. That's what you do. It's not his fault. That's what you do at that age. There's nobody at that age that does not like to dribble. Run with the ball. But I just pray it doesn't end up like Jack Wilshere. Because running with the ball, as good as it is, you don't do it well, you get a lot of injuries. So all of those, there's this young man that they took down. Max Dowman, the 15-year-old boy that they took to preseason, fantastic player. What I like about him is his ability to draw far. But your ability to draw far could also become a reason why you get a lot of injuries. Remember how they used to say that Jack Grealish is the most foul player? You see his career too. Injuries and foul go pari passer. They go together. So I worry about that one. When you put Man United on the spreadsheet, you know that if they get a good goalkeeper and then they get a good DM who help with the smooth transition from defense to attack, they will score lots of goals. Mbeumo can score, Cunha can score, Bruno Fernandes can score. When they sort out their need to impress, because Cunha, Bruno Fernandes and Mbeumo are playing this need to impress, and Mbeumo in the game against Arsenal had this, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, had this personality of I came here to help you. People used to come to Man United like, thank God I'm playing for this big club. But there was this personality of I came here to help you. Because if you look at the acres of space that Calafiori gave him, it should, at Brentford, he would be punishing Arsenal with those space. But I mean, he had the space, but he was playing like he was chairman, like his Odogu Parara and all those things. The season is just starting. He needs time to bed in, so I can give him all those allowances. But that's what I feel. Does Arsenal, the start of last season, I was confident that Arsenal can go on to win the title. right? Jurgen Klopp is gone. Man City didn't look like they were going to get better. The Arsenal can go win the title from what they did 2 seasons ago, but then injury happened, so I can't even blame Arteta. At the start of this season, am I confident that Arsenal will win the title? Nah, I'm not, unless they fix that left side, because that left side is, let's even say 60% of Arsenal attack coming through the right. Left side should be able to give us 45, but right now 80% of Arsenal's attack coming from the right, another 8% coming from the left, or say from dead ball, and dead ball is not free kick, from corner kick, and then the remaining 12% are loose ball that come from the right. That's not a balanced team as far as I'm concerned.
Well, talking about a balanced team, the transfer window is still very much open. We have end September 1st, so still a lot of time for Arsenal to do the rest of their business, if eventually they will go on to do it, and for other clubs as well to make respective signings.